All right, good morning, everyone. You are attending or having this video for English for academic and professional purposes. And this is intended for the first semester in EAPP Quarter 1, Week 1, as what adhered to you during our first meeting in the class. Part of it were already shared and imparted to the class. And the topic for week 1 is all about language differentiation applied in academic texts from different discipline. Since you've been exposing yourself with the different discipline of knowledge, the expressions that you're going to use most likely may come in a different expressions or in a different manner. Okay, the objectives that are going to be completed for this module 1 is for you to be familiarized with the language apply in a different discipline where inclusions of phonologies, morphology, syntax, and semantics are going to be identified. Define linguistic register as cited by the experts where types of linguistic register are enumerated and develop an academic forms of writing for a certain incident in the school, especially during our first day of schooling, school year 23 and 24. So there will be an process of writing to be observed as you go through with this. Okay. So to be familiarized with the language applied in the different disciplines, of course you must have the knowledge of phonologies. The phonologies, these are sounds that you are commonly going to hear. Sometimes it may be announced in that way and then it may not be accepted, but on the other way around it can also be accepted. Sometimes the regional barrier has something to do with this when it comes in penology. However, we also have this word from Nietzschean classifications where morphology talks about the synonyms, for example, having the same meaning, equated the same meaning, like merry and happy. For antonyms, that is the opposite meaning, pretty and ugly. The homonyms, they have the same sounds, but it goes for different meaning. Like, for example, rise, the rising of the sun, and rise, the energy or the rice that we take most every meal that we have. And in the homographs, they almost have the same sounds, the same spelling, but it goes for different meaning. Like, for example, breaking the glass, you have your break time, someone is breaking your heart. Okay. And then the cliche, this is a kind of expressions where it is said to be fresh, but because of the commonly it is commonly used, expressness has been faded away. An example of this is that last but not the least. Okay, last but not the least, and last but not the least. Okay, I missed some words for there. Okay, and then the other one we have this barbarism. The barbarisms, these are words that are actually applied by those scandalous person, or sometimes they're calling it palinquera. And sometimes people like them are being addressed like idiots and nuts. And people who are labeled most likely as barbarisms are tend to be tactless. They're not being minded with those words that are coming out from their mouth. As long as they wish to say something about those words, they can easily uh, you can easily say it out. And then the colloquialism, this is a kind of everyday conversations that we're having. It's just like when you are speaking Pampango or Kapampangan in your house, or even Tagalog in your house. Those are what we call colloquialism. It's just like a natural conversations with someone else, or perhaps in a classroom discussions when your teacher is actually conversing with you or talking to you. And then we also have this what we call jargons. The jargons, language of different professionals and entities may have. For example, the language of those students who are taking into medicines, they are mostly engaged into medical terminologies. The language being used by those taking law course, most of the time they have this language intended for the law course. For example, the reclusion perpetua, non sequitur. They do understand those languages because they belong to that professions, and even the medical people. And then we also have this euphemism. The euphemism, I get a wrong spelling there. And it S and I, this they were interchanged. Okay, it's a way of substituting the original calling of the term to a better word. Like for example, you are actually taking your meal, and then all of a sudden one of your friend was actually excusing herself himself to attend his or her personal necessity. It would be bad to say that he's excusing himself, herself, and just go to the toilet. So, for the person, people who are taking their meal, not to lose their appetite, instead of saying toilet, you would probably substitute the toilet to a comfort room, powder room, or what else? Restroom as well. So those are replacement words that can be used for the original calling of the word identifier, and those are what we call euphemism. And then the other one, we have this regional expressions. Okay, the regional expressions, obviously, these are referring to the calling of language, different calling in terms of dialect or language, because people from different regions have different forms of language, like the one I said before, when they are in Mindanao, when they are talking about the bicycle, tricycle, it's not the way that we used to say it when we expressed in English. They're saying it tricycle, bicycle, popsicle, it goes like that. And that's part of the regional expressions. Another one, when we are translating the word nasa loko ang bola sa ilalim ng tulay and translated it into Kapampangan, it goes nasa asa buke yung bola kinlalam na ng tete. It sounds ridiculous. There is a part of malicious calling or words going to be heard for some people who do not understand the language of Pampango. Okay. So all of those are for word formation classifications. Another, we also have this, aside from these synonyms, we also have these acronyms. The acronyms made by initials, either created or came out from its origin, created or origin as well. For example, those common initial words for acronyms are the agencies in the Philippines, like Department of Health, Department of Trade and Industry, Department of Natural Resources, okay, and then also the uh, other agencies that may be existed, the Department of Public Works and Highway, and also name of the institutions, like for example FEU for Eastern University, UST University of Santo Tomas, and SBSF High School, San Vicente San Francisco High School. All of those are acronyms. It stands for the first initials of the name of an entity. But for some reasons, nowadays, the students are also using their own acronyms. Like for example, on the way OTW, RTW, ready to wear, oh my god, OMG, or oh my gosh, or oh my god, and then for FYI, for your information. Sometimes you are also making your own acronym for your own understanding, for your own language. And then we also have this what we call a fixings, where syllables are added maybe at the beginning or at the end. Like for example, the word beautiful, which I cited to you, the word beauty, it turns out to be beautiful, beautifully, beautifying, beautifications, beautifulness, and so on. And in the passable impassibles, where you added the suffix and prefix as well. And in the borrowing, where we just borrow the word from other countries and we are still using it, like upuan from Spanish, siomai from Chinese, vodka from Russia, champagne from America, and fries from France, lasagna and ravioli, spaghetti from Italy, and the likes. But they did also borrow from us, like the email defect, the Manila, which of a Piper Elves, the ilang ilang, and yoyo and kalamunding. Those are words that they have used, as well as bundak as well, referring to the mountain, but they are spelled it that's this way, Boondock, as bundak. Okay. Then we also have this blending of words, where two words are going to be combined Remaining parts will be taken away, and part of the head parts will be put together to become the blended word. Like for example, wireless fidelity. Omitting the tail part of the two words turned out to be Wi-Fi, international networking. Omitting the tail part of the two words, that's internet. Okay, political science, pol sci, it's another blended word. Breakfast and lunch, that's brands. Also, scientific calculator for cycle, and many more. And then we also have these clippings. The clipping is a way of taking away the tail part or the head part of the words. Like, for example, chemotherapy for chemo. We also have biology for bio, zoology for zoo, liposuctions for lipo, refrigerator for fridge and or wrap. And then converting words, this is word made up of one. It is a one word that can probably function in a sentence with different position, I mean with different function and structure in a sentence. It can be used as noun, as adjective, as an adverb, as a modifier. Okay, it's like the example I cited about swimming, where swimming is my favorite hobby. It function as a noun because it is just a subject of the sentence. I am swimming now. It is functioning as intransitive verb or verb phrase. And then the swimming team won the game. It is functioning as an adjective. I love swimming. It's functioning as on because it is just a direct object of the sentence. And also, uh, she has a happy swimming. It is functioning as on because it is used in the positives. So uh, they are all example. There are all sentences where they're just only using one word swimming but with different function in a sentence. And then we also have this compounding. The compounding made up of more than two words. Like it can be more than two words in a noun, in a prepositions and adjective. Like for example, blackbirds, safeguard. Those are nouns. Mother-in-law, editor-in-chief. Those are still nouns. And then prepositions like in front of, because of, those are compound prepositions. And then compound adjective like ill-mannered, fun-loving, well-trained, well-known, well-taken, and well-said. All of those are compounding words because they are made up of more than two words, more than one words. Hybridizing, it's also combinations of two languages of two countries. For example, chicken adobo, where chicken is an English term and adobo is a Filipino term. Okay, beef teriyaki, where beef is English and teriyaki is a Japanese, and also uh, pork sinigang, where pork is an English term and sinigang is a Tagalog term. Mais con hielo, where mais is a Tagalog term and con hielo is a Spanish term. So these are just some of the examples that can be used as an advertising where two languages are applied. But in our country, we are also using some localized terms like a combination of siomai rice, where siomai is a Chinese term and rice is an English term. But this is only be applicable in the Philippines because there is no such siomai rice in other country. As well as buko juice, where buko is a Tagalog and just an English term. And ice tubig, where ice in English and tubig is Tagalog term. Another, we also have this immortalizing. It comes from the name of someone else. For example, at Diosdado Macapagal Airport in Clark, where it comes after the name of the late President Diosdado Macapagal, who happened to be the father of former President Gloria Macapagal Arroyo. And then we also have like uh, Recto Street in Manila, taken from Clara M. Recto. The Levi's, taken from Levi Strauss and Adidas as well. The Muhammad Ali, taken from Ali Mark, taken from Muhammad Ali. And San Vicente San Francisco High School, taken from the patron of Saint Vincent and Saint Francis. So we all of these are what we call immortalizing words. And then the conates, common calling of a certain common calling of a certain objects, or it could all probably object or things. Example, we have this. You're asking for a diaper, and there is only one calling you address when you are talking about diaper. Uh, Not taking for granted, taken for granted the brand. You're just only calling one calling for diaper, and that's only Pampers. Where all diapers are being tagged as Pampers, even though the brand is Aggies, AQ, what else? Um, Another brand that can be addressed for Conades. An example of this is all soap. Okay, soap that you've been using in cleaning up your body, you're just only calling one name, and that's only Safeguard. Even in your conditioner, there's so many conditioners to be enumerated, but you're just only calling one calling for conditioner, air conditioner, and that is only Cream Silk. That's what you call conades. And then we also have these repetitions where words are going to be repeated most of the time. And some of these words like zigzag, bomb bomb, those words are repetitive word. Another, we also have this what we call neologism. When we say neologism, from the word neo, these are new, neophyte. Neologism comes with creations of new words. In my time, the words that are being used now are not actually were not actually existing during my teenage days, like the memes, the selfie, the groupie. Those words were not yet used in my time. But since these are now commonly used nowadays, these are identified as neo, because the evolutions of digitalized era has been pervaded nowadays. Sabi nga nila, if you're not going to learn something about technology, then most likely and most probably you'll be left behind with the trend. So whether you like it or not, you need to consider yourself as part of the changes for digitalized era. Okay, let's continue. Okay, for the second objective, defining linguistic register as cited by the experts, we have this linked to the occupations of the professionals, Strigel 1983. So, as I was saying before, different professions have different words of expression and language to be used. Like, for example, for some biologists, they're talking about phylum Bryophyta, phylum Chlorophyta. These are scientific terms that have been used by these biologists, but for law students who are taking into law or being a lawyer, they have those terms like reclusion perpetua, non sequitur, um, and statutory act. Those are examples of professional words dealing to their occupations, and that is an example that was the Tragel 1983 would like to bring it out. And then a special kind of language being produced in a situation that's under that Tragel 1983. I forgot. There's a missing word for it. That's Tragel. It's not Tagil. Okay. A set of specialized vocabulary, Skipma 1997. Now, there is set of specialized vocabulary because as what you it was discussed to you about morphology or classifications of words. Sometimes words are of the same spelling sounds, but it goes for different meaning. And then properties of characteristic of language when it comes to grammar. Words supposedly must have the conventions and the norms on how you are going to recognize the structure of a sentence using words, sentences, and paragraph. The grammar, syntax, tones, and all forms of communications are supposed to work together to come up into a well organized product of writing, as well as writing works and also oral works of communication. Okay, then we also have these types of linguistic register. The types of linguistic register are enumerated as follow. We have the prose and word, the formal, the consultative, the casual, and the intimate. As far as prose is concerned, these are kind of words that are register among, okay, these are words that are sometimes static, and that's something to do with historical language, like for example about World War II, and then for example about the Romeo and Juliet, about Ibong Adarna, about Lorante and Laura. Those things have something to do with our history on how we are being recognized and described as Filipino, and also uh, the previous movie about Maria Clara. If you have watched those, there are so many frozen words that has something to do with our historical language that you have heard. And then the formal linguistic, these are words that are going to be used most likely in writing. If it is formal, when you put it into writing, all words are going to be written formally. Just like what I was saying a while ago, it follows certain conventions and form. And then the other one, we have this consultative. You are actually referring to the person, experts who are basically knowledgeable to a certain skills. For example, you have this result or findings for your diagnosis or for your laboratory tests, and you don't know how to read those words. Perhaps the person you're going to refer to concerning this is might be a doctor who has a certain knowledge about a certain specializations about heart defect, about intestine defect, or because even though they belong to the same field as medicine, they have this what you call a specialization as well. So better for you to go with the specialist and expert when it comes to this. That's consultative. And then the casual linguistic register, it doesn't follow any forms at all. And a concrete example of these are the text jargons that we've been practicing nowadays, that we're not very much particular with the spelling, even though it is not correctly spelled out, or even though we are just using a shortcut. Those are basically acceptable because it became customary. When I say customary, even though it has a wrong spelling or words are not completely spelled out, it is already accepted because yeah, it became a practice. Another, we also have this what we call intimate. The intimate most likely it shows endearment to the persons, like saying honey or saying sweetheart. Those are common words that can be addressed, and simple as it can be you are intimate, you have this calling, you have sounds of endearment. It can be a couple, it can be best friends, or even sometimes college friend, or it's some kind of lover's ears, or even lovers ears, a way of saying honey, sweetheart, darling, and so on. So those are common examples that maybe identify for the types of linguistic register. Okay, let's proceed now. You were actually given uh, an activity in a practice task where you'll be writing an academic writing incidental report, but you're going to come up into a paragraph form. Organizing and important ideas may be conceptualized into three divisions. The concept one, of course, you're going to generate your ideas out of the chosen preferred incident. And there were so many incidents that you were able to encounter during the school, during the first day of school year 23 and 24. I came into incidents because if you're going to come up into a narrative report, you'll be going to come up in sequence, arranging chronological order. When I say chronological order, it pertains to the time order. What was exactly happened on 7 o'clock in the morning, 7:30 in the morning, 8 o'clock in the morning, 8:30 in the morning, towards. But because of the incident, the reason why I came up into incident is you might come up into a specific incident happened during the first day. You may jump from one point of incident to another point of incident during the first day of the schooling. So generating ideas may be adopted through brainstorming in your mind, making an outline, perhaps asking questions like five W's or one adds, and then what went, well, who and how. Okay, uh, mapping out clustering. These are some of the techniques that you can probably use when you are about to arrive in a pre-writing process to conceptualize your ideas. And then the second one is start writing the drop or adopting your gathered sources, gathered ideas based from the concept one. And the concept three is a way of making a proofread and do a final revisions or editing for the work that you did. So and those are some of the things that you are going to do as far as process approach in writing is concerned. And when you are about to finish your work, it must have the three structures of writing product. As I was saying, the writing product may consist of introductions, body, and conclusion. It's up to you what kind of technique that you're going to use in your introductory pattern in discussing the body and arriving in an intelligent conclusions for your incidental report. Okay. And then we also have this what we call developing academic form of writing for a certain incident in the school. You'll be writing a practice task about incident witnessed by the students in the first day of the schools in school year 23 and 24. The way they may choose one any of the incident happened during the first day of schooling. That's the goal that you're going to do actually. And the ideas that we probably be going to learn from this is choose a topic of your own, use keywords for it, your topic, organize, use devices to connect your ideas and make conclusion. Okay, and then notes, you may arrive with different ideas as you deal with certain topic at your own choice. You'll base it from what you have witnessed during the first day of the schooling in SBSF. Also be guided with the structure of writing where it has three parts, the introductions, the body, and the conclusion. Okay, topic preference, like for example of the topic that you can probably develop as part of your as a subject or incident report and be completed, be finished in a paragraph for, like, for example, the message of the principal, the way on how the faculty member will introduce, the ribbons intended for different grade levels, the name branded for faculty member Tamarao, the operations of the canteen on the first day, the orientations of class advisory led by the advisor, the subject taught of the different teachers in their grade level as well. So these are just only some of the topic preference that you can develop into an incident report in a form of paragraph for you to be able to come up with an output. Of course, the output you are going to be expected to write a well written paper for incident report or incident report in a paragraph form. Uh, and then it could probably written in an intermediate pattern be submitted on the sched announced by the teacher. Okay, so that's it. Thank you. I am Teacher Mix, your EAPP teacher under this subject. Okay, have a nice day to everyone.